Okay, a little personal share. I had an experience that to me was very profound, and the experiences in relationship were about race issues. And because I'm very ignorant of race issues, I can't say, I don't have any personal experience with race issues. What I want to say is if I'm saying anything politically incorrect or acting as if now I'm feeling the pain of another and that's somehow wrong, I don't mean it in any arrogant, superior white person kind of way. I'm just sharing an experience that I had. So please, if I've said something wrong, then forgive me. Forgive me, for I know not what I say. um, I am a little nervous sharing this, but let's just get over that because I'm just simply sharing my experience. The first thing I want to share, I think what instigated this whole thing was this. Is it on Amazon Prime? The series called Them, and I watched it last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's like an American horror story, but speaking about the race issues from about the 1960s perspective. And it is, this series, I think, is getting a lot of negative controversy, negative comments, and comments about it. But it truly was a horrific series to watch. There was nothing entertaining about it. It makes me cry just thinking about some of the scenes in there. But I would recommend everyone watch it if you can get through it because it is really raw. But to me, it really opened my eyes and my heart. Well, not yet. My heart, my eyes to the inner psyche of someone, particularly the Black community, but it could be anybody. You could be a fat person, a Chinese person, whatever, it doesn't matter. Purple person, skinny person, anybody who felt different than another and was being hated for it. Anyway, it really struck a chord in me, and I recommend everybody watch it, but it is absolutely brutal. But I think it absolutely illustrates what was what what we did to the Black community, to Black people and others, what all that hatred and separation can do to a community's psyche and an individual's psyche, particularly starting in childhood. It just creates such inner torment. Okay, so I really recommend watching that. And yeah, and I hope to goodness it doesn't instigate more anger and hatred and separation. Didn't do that for me. Okay, so what about my experience? So I guess I watched it about 2 weeks ago, whenever it first came out. And I literally sat there and watched the entire thing in one day because I couldn't tear myself away. And I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it, and then I kind of stopped thinking about it, like we all do, attention deficit disorder. But recently, I don't know, I was having conversations with people. The conversations were brought up to me about what is going on in this world. There's more separation than ever. We don't understand why more violence is going to make things better. Why are people burning down things? Blah, blah, blah. And it just got me thinking, and it kind of got me heated up without kind of thinking. And I was like, I don't know. I don't understand. So while I was driving, I always seem to have these experiences when I was driving. I was just something that I was listening to on an interview, and I just, again, I was sincerely saying, please open my heart. Please help me to understand the other. Please help me understand them. And I'm using that as a quote from the series, not saying that they're separate from me, but help me to understand their experience. And literally within minutes, if not seconds, I had this whoosh, and it really makes me emotional. This whoosh of understanding, and I immediately felt what every child, every man, woman, and child in a race or community that's been hated against. That doesn't even make sense. Separated, hated against. I can't think of the word. I absolutely felt their level of self-hatred, how much they hated themselves. I was looking in the mirror and I was feeling absolute self-hate. Like, why was I born like this? I just want to get choked up. And I was feeling it from perhaps a child's perspective. And then it struck me, all of this rage and anger that is expressing itself in the world right now, while we may think as a superior kind of arrogant way, oh, it's not justified, but it is, if you understand that the human psyche, when a child or anybody begins to hate themselves, they hate their appearance, everything about them, then what is the natural reaction? To hate everything in your outer world, and you become extremely angry and violent. Self-hate is the absolute, I don't know what the word, it's just, when you self-hate, nothing can be expressed but anger and violence. And I know this because I know this to be true, because I know as a child I was really fat and people used to pick on me, and I never got over being fat. And to this day, uh, when I wake up and I'm feeling my fat self, or I was always picked on for being fat and kind of ugly, looking like Miss Piggy, blah blah blah. And whenever, even to this day, yesterday, the day before, because I've gained so much weight, it's unbelievable. The feeling of self-hate is so awful. And when I wake up with that and I have that in my energy, all I am is just a brute. I'm irritable, I'm frustrated, I'm not calm, I react, and I'm hating everybody. When it's all about self-hate, how much I hate myself. And so all of this was coming in, showing me how the community, all people who are feeling separated from and hated against, are feeling, and why they're acting that way. And then so I just had this huge understanding and compassion. And then all of a sudden, this really ugly crying came out, just crying and crying and crying. And I just kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it was so weird. It wasn't me crying, and it didn't, maybe it was me saying I'm sorry, but it was involuntarily, like a channeling or something. It was so beautiful, so sad, but it opened my heart to a level of understanding that I never had before. And I hope that, excuse me, in sharing this experience, that it might open your heart to the experience of someone you consider the other who is different from you, that they may be experiencing, excuse me, such a level of self-hate that all they can express is anger, and perhaps violence. So we'll just leave it there, and until next time.